Absolutely. Oh, there we go. Hello there. Okay,
hey.
so the okay, I'm looking at the YouTube link right now, but I'm not seeing my own face. It's
Yeah, it takes some
delay.
time to start. Yeah, there's a delay, and it's probably better to pause.
Yeah.
The stream there, so it's not. Yeah.
I'm not looking at things, and I am from Finland, and I'm a bit of a skeptic, and I'm pretty good at sciences in general, and I like thinking and discussing.
Sorry to interrupt. I think you have the YouTube stream in the background going. You should just pause it so it's not making your internet slow.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pausing and cutting all other internet stuff down as well.
I just have to say, because it was, you were a bit your connection wasn't very good.
Yeah, I mean,
now I think it's
oh, okay, it might be. Yeah, the upload speed is not great. Apparently I can see myself in these Google Hangouts, no problem, but it apparently it doesn't show how it looks on the other side. Well, too bad. I mean, to down the feed depending on the internet, but when it starts to look bad. But yeah, I was just just introduced myself as a who likes science.
you're still breaking up a little bit.
Is the
it
audio
from my side? Yeah, the audio and the video. The audio and the videos are breaking up a little bit. I don't know if it's from my side. I think it's from your side.
I think it is my idea to shut down the video. So, is the audio better now?
Should be. Testing.
Testing.
Yeah, it's better.
Oh, well, it's good to hear. Yeah. Well, med school actually. Next fall, that's gonna be my expertise after I finish that studying, and I'm interested in neurology, my venue of research to come. But now, MIG MAG, you are with 7,600, and I've been watching plenty of your videos, and they are interesting. Do you want to introduce yourself and not let me do the talking for you?
Yeah, so I have a small channel that I've started about 2 years ago, when I first got into this topic of flat Earth, and at the start I wasn't very interested in doing a lot of video editing. I just wanted to share my thoughts and opinion on the topic. But after some time and learning a bit of basic video editing, then I started to do better videos. And yeah.
Okay, well, there are plenty of good edits now in your videos. They are actually, from a editing standpoint, quite high in quality, I would say. And I applaud you for that.
Thanks. And they're all just most of them are just made with Windows Movie Maker.
Oh, well, that doesn't actually show all that much. But hey, I might just go into the little questions I had set up for this little interview. Are you comfortable starting? Just
Yeah.
or okay? Well, I was interested. How did you first get into this rabbit hole? How were you first introduced to these theories about flat Earth, for example?
Well, I was researching other conspiracy topics, and one of the last ones that I was researching before finding this information was about health and cancer cures, and how the pharmaceutical industry controls the medical industry, and that just opened my eyes to a lot of the deception and how far they go to control people's lives, to the point of telling us that poison is medication, and is something to cure you from diseases, and most of it is the exact opposite. It's just going to give you more problems. And yeah, because of the impact of that information, um, I was more open to question other stuff that might seem a bit crazy for normal people. Yeah,
Wow,
so
wow,
that's
hey,
how I started.
that's actually really cool. I didn't well, your first video you uploaded was 11 months ago on your MIG MAG channel, and I didn't see any of that kind of pharmaceutical industry critical videos at all. But that was the place where you got started. Uh,
Yeah, I have a few videos, but they are in between a lot of stuff. So if you're just skimming through all of the videos, it might be difficult to find them. Yeah.
Okay, so I must have missed them. Okay, so it literally is a rabbit hole of sorts. So when once you get into and research one kind of theory, then you very easily get introduced to all kinds of other ideas that go along with it, sorts.
Well,
And
they don't. Yeah, they don't have to be directly connected to each other. It's just it just helped me to be open to entertain stuff that looked crazy, you know, that I would dismiss without checking the information. And another thing that helped also, which might have been on purpose, that is happening on YouTube, is that it was videos suggesting they were suggesting videos about flat Earth,
so
and
yeah,
like many other people, they have the same story, that they ignore those suggestions a lot of the times, and until the point that they just open a video and see the content.
so they basically are associated by a kind of a community, because they are sort of the same people who are watching all of these theories out. It's once you get in, you're in like big time. And well, that's really interesting to hear. I mean, especially about this medical and pharmaceutical conspiracies and things going on there. I'm personally very interested because I am going to medical school in Finland, and well, Finland compared to United States, for example, is considered having a pretty good healthcare system. And well, I mean, I'm interested to ask you about that. How wide do you consider that this poison or ill kind of motives are behind all kinds of medical pursuits? I mean, are there just some kinds of treatments that are actually designed not to help you, or is it across the board more?
Well, I think that the structure of how the medical system works is the big problem, because if that area is mostly financed by the industrial pharmaceutical industry, um, of course there will be a huge bias. You know, they want to make money, so if they make cures, it's a one-time deal. You know, a person would buy one product and would be cured of a disease in a few days or something like that. And that's bad for business. They need you to be a customer.
Indeed, indeed. But isn't that what I mean? We do have protections of intellectual property protections that, for example, if you make a cure, then you're the only one who is able to sell it for some 10 years or so, and then the competition comes back, and that's basically the motivation to make new cures all the time.
If you can patent the product that you're making from the laboratory materials or even natural materials, if it's patentable, I don't know if that's a word, then they will do the product. If it's something that anyone can get from nature, then I think they'll never use it.
Okay, so for example, was it MMS or some other? I've heard of these kind of natural cures that supposedly are.
Yeah, there's a
Just
few. There's a few of them out there. MMS is one of them. Personally, I don't have much information about that one. I saw a few videos about it, but I've never tried it myself, so I cannot say that it works. There's baking soda also has some benefits, health benefits. Yeah, and like I said, there's other stuff, other natural stuff that is not patentable.
well, that's interesting to hear. Okay, so I think we could move on. Well, what would you regard as the best examples of evidence against spherical Earth? Because that's kind of it has to start somewhere to question this dogma or line of reasoning that's held across the globe, or maybe I shouldn't say the globe in this
You can call
specific.
it globe. You can call it globe, world,
Yeah.
sphere. Yeah. Well, the best evidence for me and for many others is the water. Water always maintains its level. If you have a body of water, it will always find its level. The argument against it is, they say, well, droplets of water are round, so therefore it is possible for water to have curvature or to have the round shape. But that is explained with buoyancy, which is a big topic, but I'm not going to go there now. The other ones, there's no proof of a body or a mass attracting another body because of gravity, because of the gravity effect, and the observable and testable effect is called density, and that explains more the reasons why people think gravity exists without the attraction.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
These go these go quite deep. Actually, these kind of interesting ideas about what could be going on and to explain the unexplainable, so to say. But well, God damn it, I can't. Can I screen share somehow? I would like to show you this. I actually made them into PDF files. My
Yeah,
calculations that I.
you have there on the left side, you have a green rectangle,
Yeah.
and it says
Oh,
screen share. Then you can select that.
let's
Yeah.
try this. Let's try this. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, not this guy. Okay, is it working? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, I mean, I can explain this out. in simple terms, okay, this is, let's assume the information that we have, for example, what I've been told in classroom is correct, and we will go with that, and we'll see if we get any, what would be the curvature if we assume that this information is correct. I can do I was able to do the calculations to, for example, if we take a 120 degrees visual field of, let's say that we are at, we're watching out to the sea, and what would be the curvature? Would it be absolutely straight, or would it curve the visual field of the water, the horizon? It should be curving if the globe is a sphere. So I did the calculations to see how much it should curve if you can see straight into the horizon from, in this case, I used the height of 10 meters, that you are 10 meters above the sea level, looking out to the horizon. And here we have the so-called globe with here the height of 10 meters, and using the Pythagorean theorem, as I've looked at the other videos about flat Earth, and they also used Pythagorean theorem, so I think that's allowed here.
Yeah, those are the curvature measurements. Although I have to say that I haven't seen any scientists use it to prove the globe.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the popular curvature measurement.
Okay.
Around the internet.
So basically, here I've tried to use 10 meters as the elevation at where you're watching to the horizon, and from here I calculated the distance to the horizon as 11 kilometers about, using 6,378 kilometers that I've been told in the classroom is the radius of the globe. And let's go down below, because this is only the distance of the horizon. And here we're seeing the top view. So basically here I am watching to the sea, and let's see that this whole place here is sea. And this little curve here would be the radius of that 11 kilometers that I'm able to look out to the sea, and this is the horizon. And here is the leftmost point, the farthest point to the left that I can see on one view, on one visual field, and this is the right side. And so I calculate the distance between those using the using the 11 kilometers as the distance of view.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
This was said in class. The teacher said that this is the way to calculate the curve.
Actually, no. They only told me this radius, 6,378 kilometers, and all of the rest comes straight from mathematics.
Okay, because I was saying that that was the popular curvature measurements, but it's not. It's the popular one is the 8 inches per square mile.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one, and I think, well, I basically come to I come to that one also, and I think if I did the calculation with that, I think that 8 inches per square mile is a good per mile squared. Yeah, it's a good approximation, and if I did the calculations with that, I think I would come to the same end result. So let's see. So this, I use the 10 meters elevation as the example. So here I get the distance between left and rightmost pieces of horizon, and the difference and the distance between those is 19.5 kilometers. And then we come to the last and the final solution. So let's imagine that we are watching into the horizon, and if the globe was spherical, we would see this kind of curvature to be the horizon and not a straight one. But now the question is that how much does it curve? How much does it curve? How much does this differ from the straight line? And that can be, well, here I denoted the distance in the center with an X, or also the difference between those as an angle. And now here is here's the supposed center of the Earth, and here's the radius, and here's the radius too. And here we get another right-angled triangle, for which we supposedly know the radius. This is our assumption. And we know this F here, which we calculated here, which is the difference between these hold visual field, which we see here is the L and R. And here I've calculated the actual angle here, which in this picture seems to be something 10 to 20 degrees, but actually using these calculations it's 0.09 degrees, which is extremely little.
Okay, so what is the height, the curvature
So the
height between
yes.
R and L?
Yes, the curvature height calculated here. Wait, oh, there we go. Yeah, X is 7.5 meters at the distance of 11 kilometers. So we're seeing 11 kilometers to the horizon, to the L and R, and that's the furthest point we can see using this first picture here. So here is in this point would be both the L and R, and here the top view, the L and R are obviously you're not only watching straight, you're watching the whole visual field. And here the actual X here, which is at 11 kilometers, the difference between this point and this middle is only 7.5 meters. And that is very little, as you might imagine. So
well 7 meters can hide the boat, a relatively big boat.
Yeah, absolutely.
From a little canoe to a yacht. Yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, yeah. I mean, we could actually extrapolate this to somewhere here. So let's see. So here's the H. So we're at 10 meters. Then if we continue this line, then we come here. Well, we would be at 10 meters also. So basically, we can actually count that if we're watching at 10 meters to something that is 10 meters high, then actually this would be the double. So we would at 22 kilometers. If we were 10 meters elevated, we could see the top of something that's 10 meters high, right? If we assume that it's global. And basically, that kind of works out.
On paper, because you can see distances much further away from the distance that you did there, the 11 kilometers.
Yeah.
There's observations of 30 or 40 miles. There's a record of observation of the distance.
Oh,
I don't remember the number, but it's very, very big.
Yeah, let's see. It was what was it? Flat Earth in 5 minutes. This video, and let's. There was some frame here. Oh, yeah, here we go. Toronto from Niagara on the lake.
Yeah.
And well, I Google searched it. Here's another video. Let's take it a little larger. No, oh crap, I didn't. So let's open the image. Wait, open image in new tab. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so we can now compare these two. So we can see that this obviously is the same city because, well, we do see the buildings quite clearly, and this is both of these are Toronto from Niagara on the Lake, as was this Google search, and it does look very similar. But the difference here is that in this picture we see trees down below. So this picture is taken very high. This is not from the. This is not from the. Yeah, that's not from the shore. Whereas in this picture used in the YouTube, it is from the shore. And actually, if we compare these pictures, we do see that in this taken from the shore, we don't see the bottom. Of these buildings at all.
And there's one thing that is not evident at first glance, which is the effect of refraction, and the horizon line is actually much lower than what we see from observations, depending on the temperature of the what do you call it?
So right, yeah.
Weather conditions, yeah. So that line can change, can seem a bit, can hide more if it's warmer, and if the weather is very cold, if you don't have a lot of humidity in the air, then you'll see much more from a distance.
Yeah, I know that effect. It's when light travels through different mediums, that it does curve. It does curve the light itself. But well, I mean,
not very much, but enough to hide objects in a distance.
So that would be your hypothesis, that effect could explain why these two pictures look so different. That here you can't see the bottom of the buildings at all, and here you can.
An hypothesis because I think it is really what happens, because anyone can test it out, and there's a lot of videos also on YouTube where people have seen these effects with powerful zoom cameras, and depending on the weather conditions, you'll have a different effect. Yeah.
Okay, well that's interesting. Okay, well I might have to look more into those then, but well I maybe don't need to share. This is us. This is no. Whoop. Am I messing this up? I could.
No, it's just the screen share. There you go.
Okay, now I quit it. So maybe.
And that actually, what happened there on the windows is a good example of perspective.
Yeah, it's pretty great. That's pretty meta. But hey, let's go forward. That was a good little thing we went through there. But hey, what were your biggest motives to start your own channel?
Well, I wanted to just share my opinion on the topic of flat Earth, and I was just starting researching the information, and I discovered some other people on YouTube sharing their content and their views, and I thought it would be good to share also my opinion about it. Yeah, and from there it grew to video editing and all the other topics.
That's really great to hear. Yeah, that is great. Okay, so it's kind of generic, but well, I guess it's for all. I mean, that's what I'm doing here. That's what I'm trying to do in the future. I'm just trying to share my opinions and trying to hone my skills in presenting myself to the world, or however many people are interested. That's the gist of it. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever the topic, there's always someone interested. There's so many people online, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, I asked how did you first get into the rabbit hole? And you cited that you first were interested in these medical conspiracies. And actually, I had to say about that I do agree that there might be and there is a high risk for corruption if these drug companies are bribing, financing and bribing doctors to prescribe these drugs, even if they are not the best treatment or even necessary. That's kind of the most horrible bit. If they don't even need any treatment at all and they are still prescribing some very expensive drugs, then that's very bad. I've heard of a doctor who actually treated patients
with chemotherapy.
With chemotherapy that didn't have cancer at all, and that's like the most horrific thing I've heard a doctor do, and that's really something quite terrifying to abuse your power and your
and the trust, because everybody trusts. Well, most of the people trust someone with a lab coat.
Yes, and when you have to trust them with your life, it's extremely horrifying to hear people who might go as far as to treat people who don't have any disease with terrible poisons, to the point of them really suffering at great lengths. Well, enough of that. So I saw a video.
Just to say, it's hard for people to not trust doctors when they have a disease that is very scary, like cancer, because when you're afraid, you just want help, and the first person that tells you, well, I can help with this problem, then you're gonna go with it.
Yeah,
from lack of information.
Doctors certainly are the group in our societies that have this very big aura of them and big authority figures. And
one thing that motivated a lot for me to research that topic is because I had family with healthy issues, and so I just wanted to learn more about it. And I had a lot of hate for doctors for some time, but later on, after research, I found that they're not the ones really to blame, because they go to the medical schools learning stuff that is not actually true 100%. For example, their education in nutrition is very basic. They don't learn how to treat problems with just nutrition, and that's one of the main problems in the medical field. Because if you have a strong immune system, most of the diseases you'll never have a problem. You'll never catch them. So yeah.
I actually agree. I 100% agree that many doctors don't really they don't specialize in giving healthy life life goals and giving good advice on how to exercise and eat well and stuff like that. I mean, they do that sometimes, but it's quite limited, because usually they have to encounter people who already have illness, and so that's kind of too late at that point to really treat people who already have like terrible illnesses, as telling, hey, go for a jog and eat well and that'll go away. Well, sometimes it will go away, but it depends a lot.
Yeah.
But hey, I saw a video about chemtrails also. Well, I was going to ask if they are somehow connected to the flat Earth theory, but we already earlier went through that all these theories are kind of intercorrelated, because they tend to, for example, on the internet, if you find something, then you will also find people who have find other things, because it is these things are connected, in at least in that they are you can easily find more of these topics if you've already found some before.
Yeah, they're indirectly connected, but if you see the breadcrumbs, you can see why they are connected. Like the chemtrails are connected to the climate change topic, so the weather manipulation, and then the weather manipulation is linked to the agenda of these organizations, that have different objectives than what they tell us they have. And so yeah, at the end you can go back to the same group of people.
Oh, and that's where we go very interesting and we go very deep. So there is a group of people who are basically behind all of this, and well, who are the puppet masters exactly, and why are they doing this? That's I guess that's the big question among all of these people trying to wrap their head around these new theories and these organizations that are doing things that they supposedly claim not to do. They are doing saying something and doing exactly something other. So who do you think might be well, first off, let's just begin with those organizations that are below those in power, so to say. So NASA, I've heard, is one of the biggest ones, always mentioned in flat Earth circles. But what are some other organizations that might be connected to these other theories, for example, that
Well, in the US, you have plenty of them. You have the governmental agencies, the Federal Reserve, and in Europe you have the what's it called, the ESA, the space agency from Europe.
yes, that's the
Basically, most of the governments, if not all, are somehow connected, and of course, you cannot blame everyone that is within these organizations, because just like in the military, they are compartmentalized. So, like the soldier doesn't know how as much as the sergeant. The sergeant doesn't know as much as the captain, and so on. So yeah, that's one of the things that people that that have a defensive stance or are not so open-minded, they say, well, how can this be happening? Are you saying that all scientists are lying to us? All governments, all politicians are in on this conspiracy? No, nobody says that. And yeah, it's very compartmentalized. So I would say that it's a very small group of people that actually know and have more power to influence
yeah.
society.
Well, and about these people, well, I've heard watching your videos and some others, I've basically there are four groups that are most often blamed for to be these guys behind it all, and the first one would of course be the global elites, people like Kissinger and
The
Soros and
Rockefellers.
Rockefellers and so on. That's kind of the biggest one out there, and then there are like some, well, for example, mm,
The
the
ones into
Jesuits.
the, yeah, but the
Jesuits,
more popular one is the one that talks about the Jew conspiracy,
yes,
um,
that's also
the
a third one.
Zionist conspiracy,
Mhm.
and the one that's the most popular, and you see it from all the truth channels, the popular ones, they all go into that topic more, and they neglect or ignore willingly, or just for lack of information, they ignore um, the other side of the story, which is going back to the Roman Empire, which mutated to the Holy Roman Empire. They created the Vatican, and from there they had their foot soldiers, the Jesuits, and then all the other secret societies that somehow they created or infiltrated.
Yeah, Freemasonry is Freemasons is also another one.
Yeah.
And of course, the most joked about whenever there's triangles, there is, of course, the
Yeah. It's also a popular topic. Yeah, the symbolism with the triangles and the numerology. I don't know if you know Russian vids. He's always talking about symbolism and numerology, and how the news stories, a lot of the world events are staged, um, which a lot of it makes sense, but of course we need evidence for it, and I don't think he goes that far to explain the evidence.
yeah.
But
God damn it!
yeah.
This is the worst blackout I've ever had. I actually forgot what the hell is this. The secret organization starting with A that everyone jokes about, that is found with all the triangles and I on the top. Hey, help me out. What was that again?
The
Hey,
Freemasons,
I can't.
Illuminati.
Illuminati. Oh,
Um,
right, Illuminati. Yeah, Illuminati. God
yeah,
damn it. It's
yeah.
with I. Illuminati. Yeah, that's the one. Oh, I bet they tricked me. They've put something in my brain that I forgot them.
It's the wireless,
Definitely.
the
Yeah.
Wi-Fi signal.
God damn it. The Illuminati. They're always behind it all. I
Yeah,
mean,
but yeah, that's
well,
another term that is very popular, but it's a very general term, and you can't point the finger to anyone. Like, who
yeah.
is the Illuminati?
So there's but I want to write this all out. So there's Illuminati, there's Jesuits, there's Freemasons, and then there's the
The
Zionists,
Zionists. Yeah,
and then there's the Jesuit. Well, I said the Jesuits already. What am I missing? Right, global elites. So that's five at least. So and
there's plenty. Yeah,
yeah.
the
So
Rosicrucians, the Knights of Malta. Man, the list is very big.
yeah, it is, and
Yeah.
it's kind of well, which one to pick, or are some of these like? Do you think that some of these are kind of planted there by the actual group just to create confusion, or are these somehow, do they collaborate, or are they, do some of them exist and some other ones don't, or is there an even higher hierarchy, so to say? So is one group above all these, and these different groups are just
Yeah,
kind
to
of
be honest,
pawns?
it's hard to tell because they create confusion, and that's one of the tactics. If you don't know your true enemy, then how can you beat him, right? So
Exactly.
they create a fractal map of all these secret societies, and so people that think they know the truth, then you are always divided. You don't have a big group of people that think that, okay, well, it's the Jesuits, no, it's the Freemasons, no. So a lot of people have they are in their own camp. So yeah, and that goes into the tactic also of division. So if we are all divided, uh, how can we fight together?
Absolutely. And so just to recap, your group of choice, so to say, was the Holy Roman Empire breaking down and continuing as Jesuits, and the Vatican being in the center of it all. That's
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
and behind the Vatican, I didn't mention there's also the black nobility, which are the families that are always are involved with the Vatican, and they cycle through their family members to see who becomes the Pope, the next Pope.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
So
hadn't heard
there's
about that. Wasn't
yeah
isn't the current Pope Argentinian? No, wait.
I don't remember if he's from Argentina, but he's a Jesuit. Yeah, so the
Okay.
first Jesuit Pope.
Yeah, I was okay,
Yeah.
but they can't be all from the same family if they come from different countries. But okay, maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. I haven't researched.
Yeah, no, they're not from the same family. They are a group of families
Oh,
called
okay.
the black nobility. Black meaning not by skin color of the skin, but just by the fact that they are like unknown. They are in the shadow.
Okay. So, well, then we go to the I guess the last question, and that is, what's the reason behind it all? Why are they doing this? Why are they keeping up this type of power? I mean, maybe it's self-explanatory, just to keep. Maybe you want to keep the power just to keep the power. I mean, maybe that's the motive that you need. But what do you think about this?
Well, most of the people will say that it's for control, which is the simplest answer. I know. Yeah, I like simple answers because if you're trying to explain something difficult to someone that is not open to conspiracies, it's kind of hard for them to be focused on what you're saying if you're going to have a 10-minute explanation. But yeah, that's the basic explanation. It's for control. It's to keep us enslaved, keep them in power, and in this imaginary globe where nobody is interested in trying to discover more land because everybody thinks that everything was already discovered. You know, we are in a closed environment, and only these governmental agencies, these space agencies, are allowed to get out of the so-called planet.
Oh, so from here we get to Antarctica, and that would be under the flat Earth theory. The Antarctica would be the edge of knowledge that we don't know anything beyond Antarctica, and we would have to
The ice
go
wall.
go beyond that to maybe find something new. And what would be behind
Yeah.
Antarctica if we consider that Antarctica is not just another continent as we
Yeah.
globers would have
Well,
believed.
that goes into dogma, which I don't like to dive into. Not because I'm not interested. It's just because um, it's better to focus on stuff that we can prove. Um, there's also the idea of a dome, and with the ice wall also, that's another thing that we don't have proof yet. There's pictures of the wall, but can you really say for certain that there is actually an ice wall around us?
Yeah, that's a good question. And apparently, well, of course, if one is skeptical about the whole narrative that the whole other world follows, then why would you
Why
believe
would you
in?
believe?
And
Yeah.
why would you have to make something up where you don't know? Yeah, okay, that's completely understandable. Mm, well, I mean, yeah, and that thing about control and power, well, that is easy to explain and easy to believe because, well, we know this from day-to-day experience. We know that people are kind of naturally seek power and well, at least freedom. That would
Yeah,
be
and when you have power, you want to maintain power.
Hmm.
And these group of people, they're not interested in money. They can print their own money, so uh, their main goal is control, control of people and resources and land. And one thing that I didn't mention was uh, how I got into the Jesuit Vatican conspiracy. Um, was because I followed the breadcrumbs, the evidence. No, it goes back to them. Um, a lot of, well, the belief that I had before was the popular one, that the Freemasons, the Jews, the Zionists, were behind it. But if a person actually does research and see the evidence, it's not that specific group. And you cannot blame a race of people for this organized system of control. So yeah, and after I met an Israeli guy, like a young guy, I asked him about Palestine and the problem in Palestine, and he couldn't answer. He was just what was the word? Um, it's not shy. He was ashamed.
Hmm.
He just didn't answer at all. He just looked down like I somehow disgraced his family or dishonored his family or shamed him. And that made me interested in looking into other alternatives to who is really behind it.
Yeah, because well, I also subscribe to the notion that you cannot treat all members of a group as the same, especially when you're talking about race, because well, we're all individuals and we all think differently, and that's kind of a model to live by, and it makes Earth. I mean, it makes the world a little easier to understand if you treat everyone as unique.
Yeah, and a good um, and a good like a thought. What do you call it? A good thought avenue is to always think if this topic is actually creating more fear and division, or is giving information and helpful.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
But I think we've exhausted our questions, and so that's everything I wanted answers to, and I'm really thankful that we could have this discussion. I think this was a success on my part, being the first time I've even had a hangout, which I don't know how that's possible from my part, but I'm well gonna say thank you first of all.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure, and I know you're just starting and you have a small channel, but that doesn't matter to me. I'm interested in the topic, and if people want to talk about it, and if I have time, then I'll always be open for it.
And well, I mean, I haven't been quite clear about my intentions with my channel, so sorry about that. You might have
No, it's fine.
you might have had the impression that I'm going to kickstart a similar channel to yours, that I'm gonna full-time research these kinds of topics. And well, honestly, I'm not all that sure. I want to hear from many kinds of people, and I want to have similar interviews. From example, I
Yeah,
don't know, well, if I can get my hands on a feminist or some other political commentators, or there are a lot of different kinds of people and live different kinds of thoughts out there, and I want to explore all kinds of stuff.
yeah.
And
There's a lot of people out there that are willing to talk about the different topics. It's just a matter of sending an email or a message. Yeah.
yeah, and this was a great example of that. I mean, you have, 7,600 subscribers. That's actually quite a lot in my view. At least there are plenty of plenty of YouTube channels that I follow and I'm a great fan of that have quite a lot fewer. And
Yeah. Yeah, but
so
in
so that
the YouTube world, you have the big ones that just have stuff that is I consider trash content, like some of the game channels and everything. But I guess it's or the cat channels.
yeah, cats.
But
Wow.
I mean, it's a tool. You can use it for entertainment or for information or whatever. Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, but so well, let's. I don't know if we should have a little friendly chatter at the end of this or not. I think we should maybe keep it concise for the YouTube peoples. So I think we could call this a day, but I'm glad, and I will be totally up to discussing with you all kinds of things. So let's keep in contact.
For sure, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for inviting me, and it was a nice talk. Yeah.
It was. Thank you. See you.
See you.